First off, I want to tell everybody, because you probably didn't notice in the video that I posted this morning on if you haven't eaten a North Carolina style chili dog, you haven't lived. Well, you might want to check in the description, because that's the way you're going to win the Halloween plaques. There is a statement in that description that is asking you something about one of the videos. The first person to leave the correct answer in the description will win the plaque. Plain and simple. I've had too many discussions on, well, my computer's too slow. There's a pause in when you post or say something than when we receive it. So this way, I'm thinking everybody's going to get a fair chance. Just read the question in the description. The first one to answer it in the comments correctly wins the plaque. Now we're going to get on here and cook what we're going to cook today. First of all, I've got onions here that I've got to peel. And I don't usually like to do this, but you don't have to chop these up fine. They can just be coarsely chopped, and that's fine. It's not a problem with these. Now I'm gonna just heat up a little bit of olive oil in my pot. Not doesn't take, but it's just a couple of tablespoons or teaspoons. Oops. And I've got my flattened pie tin under my pot, because that helps distribute the heat evenly on these pots. You can cut up your onion however you want. I'm just kind of quartering them and then cutting them in a couple of slices or chops. That way hopefully my eyes won't burn so bad, because they're going to cook all the pieces anyway. It doesn't matter. Now I'm going to put this red onion in there as well. Because it does call for 2 onions. I think I'm pushing my luck with the second one. And these are onions from the garden, y'all. I've only got one big onion, red onion, and a small red onion left, I think, that I got out of my garden this year. That's the reason I had to go plant more. I mean, got to have more onions, right? I use them just about in every meal. There's not many things that I cook that I don't put onions in. Now let's see if I can go get this out of the way. Chop up this other one. This is a lot easier on the eyes, y'all. A lot easier. And I am going to peel these. I don't like leaving peeling on eggplant. And these are eggplant from the garden. That's why they're not very big. I went out there and picked whatever I could find this morning, just so I'd have enough of this recipe. And again, we're not going to chop these up too much. Just kind of quarter them. Now, I got all my eggplant cut up. My onions are sauteing. I'm going to put a little bit of salt on my eggplant. And I'm going to submerge it in water until I get ready for it. In the meantime, I'm going to be getting my garlic ready. I've got fresh garlic from the garden, my last bulb. That's the reason I wanted to plant more. There, I wanted you to see this. Oh, it's already made a mess. Let me go over here and get some of this outer off of my garlic before I try to separate it, because it goes everywhere. Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's like onion, you know. It's kind of hard. And I'm still going to get it. Let's see. I don't know how many cloves are on this one. On this one bulb of garlic. But we'll see. may have to add a little bit. But I do have some onion powder. I do have crushed garlic in the refrigerator if I need it. But this is my last garlic from the garden. Okay, that's not really good. Now, for those of you who don't know the best way to get the peeling off of garlic, take the end of it, cut your end off, and then just squish it. The peeling comes right off of it when you do that. Or it should. Sometimes you can just hold the end of it, the point of it, and pull it off. But you got to cut that end. The bottom of the bulb, you know, where it grew. And then it just comes right off. Makes it a lot easier than fussing with it, I'll tell you. But it helps if you get that end cut off where it was attached to the bulb. Okay, my onions are kind of brown, so what I'm going to do drain my eggplant, and I'm putting my eggplant in there right with my onions. Now you can put this in a 200-degree oven if you would like to do that. Some of my eggplant was not completely cut in two, evidently. But I'm going to go finish my garlic, because the recipe calls for 15 of these individual little cloves of garlic. Usually it's about one whole bulb, actually. And I've got, some of mine are small, some are big. So I've got 3, I'm going to say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is what I've got here. A lot of times I almost forget to cut that end off. know, real easy to do it this way. You don't have to fuss with a little clove of garlic. It breaks that skin loose and it comes right off. See if I can do more than one at a time. These are kind of little ones. And like I said, you don't have to use the fresh garlic. But in the recipe, it calls for everything fresh. Feel free to use minced garlic, whatever you got. Just garlic powder. But I am using the fresh because that's what I had from the garden. I think I got those two. Don't you think this sleeve is really neat? All it is the toe, the foot part cut out of a lady's stocking, and it makes a great little sleeve to put your garlic in from the garden. Okay, now what we're going to do, mix this up good. And we're going to put the lid on it. Put it on low. And let it cook for 30 minutes. And I'm going to set my timer. And we'll come back. I'll clean up my mess while we're going. Okay, my timer went off. Now, check and make sure your eggplants are cooked. If they're not, you need to cook them for a little bit longer. Mine seem to be cooked. Because they pretty much come apart when I mash them with the spatula. At this point, we're going to add our garlic. We're going to add our tomatoes. And I had tomatoes that were frozen. Now you can use 1 can of tomatoes or you can use whatever you have. These are still partially frozen, but they'll thaw out pretty quick. I had them out trying to get them thawed out, but you know how that goes sometimes. So I'm just going to turn the heat up a little bit until my tomatoes get thawed out. Because it'll take a lot to get that hot since it's... Now we're going to need cumin. I'm going to go ahead and add that. You need 1 teaspoon of cumin. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We're going to salt and pepper it a little bit. And that is Himalayan pink salt. A little bit of pepper. Try to mix this all in. And get my block of tomatoes thawed out. And I was going to add just a little bit more garlic since I didn't have quite 15 cloves of garlic. What was it? I had 11, but some of them were kind of small. So there I added a heaping teaspoon of crushed garlic as well. Now, while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and put on a pot of rice. And this is a dish that you can freeze after it's cooked. Whoops. My bag is split open. Let me get a piece of tape to tape the hole up. At least sometimes I pull stuff and move it around in that cabinet. And I tear holes in my bags. That's one reason I like to put my rice and stuff in jars. And I'll probably put this in a jar. So I don't have rice everywhere. So there's a cup of rice to 2 cups of water. And we're going to go ahead and get that cooking. Get it hot. Also, I've got okra that I got out of the garden. And like I said, you know, I don't have that many okra plants, but at least it's enough to, you know, go with a meal for me anyway. I'm going to kind of spray a little bit of olive oil on them. whole. I'm gonna put my garlic salt up already, and I need it. Spray them a little bit, or sprinkle a little bit of garlic salt on them. And that's it. That's how I'm going to cook them. It's on a low setting to go ahead and cook those. I'm still trying to get my tomatoes thawed up a little, because I want to get that up to a boil before I turn my heat down, because you know it was already hot. And that garlic will just cook it'll cook to mush. You know that if you've ever cooked garlic in anything. Now we're going to bring that to a hot boil, and then I am going to turn it down on low and cook it for an hour. And in the meantime, my okra is going to cook on a low heat, and I'm going to have my rice cooking. And really, I don't have to do this. You know, I don't have to wash my rice, basically. The rice today we buy at the store, you don't have to wash before you cook it. But I did that just to please some of the people that have made comments. I don't believe you didn't wash your rice. Well, I didn't go out in the field and get this rice. It was already processed and bagged, and it's pretty clean by the time you buy it at the store. Go ahead and get that to a boil. My eggplant's getting to a boil. Eggplant and tomatoes, that is, with my onions. And like I said, if you'd rather cook this in the oven, you can. Once you get it all mixed up, you get it hot, put the lid on it, put it in a 200-degree oven for an hour. I'm leaving mine on top of the stove, and I'm just going to cook it on low. And I don't want that to fry my okra, so I'm going to turn that on low. And you can put your okra in a pan and put it in the oven and roast it if you want. I'm doing mine in the pan on top of the stove. Everything I'm cooking is cooked on top of the stove. I am going to put a little bit of butter in my rice. Now you can put olive oil in it if you'd like. That's about a tablespoon. Some people put olive oil in theirs. I like to put butter in my rice. It's up to you. Once I know that all of these tomatoes are thoroughly thawed out, I'm bringing them back to a slight boil. Okay, my pot is coming to a boil. My rice is coming to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and cover my rice and turn it down on low. Also, I'm going to cover my pot. And turn it down on low. Now, this time we're going to leave our pot for an hour. You can check it occasionally to make sure nothing is doing it's not supposed to do. But we're going to cook this on low heat, just like it would be if it was in the oven at 200 degrees for 1 hour, while my rice and my okra's cooking. Well, my timer went off, and my tomatoes and eggplant have been cooking for an hour. Now I'm going to put in, well, I'll just use the tablespoon. Some tomato puree. I think probably half of that can is enough. It says 6 tablespoons. That's probably about 6 tablespoons, I guess. See if I need to add any more. But we need to cook that about another 10 or 15 minutes after you put the tomato puree in there. Well, y'all, I think my eggplant and tomatoes are done. My stewed tomatoes with eggplant. Guess you probably, I don't know if you can see down in here or not. Go ahead and turn that off. Should probably use a big plate. not a little one. First of all, I'm going to dip out some rice. My rice is definitely done. Now you can serve this on the side of your rice, or you can put it on top of your rice. That's just totally up to you. Then I've got my okra. It's done. I just cooked it on low until it was all tender. And then after it was a little tender, I turned it up a little just to brown it some. But there you go. There is my stewed tomatoes with eggplant served on a bed of rice, and basically roasted okra, only I did it in a frying pan. I love okra done this way. Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Bless all the YouTubers out there. Bless everybody in need of prayer. I bless my friends and family. Bless this food I'm about to eat. And bless my fur babies. Y'all have an okra. It's really good. Now, like I said, you can serve this on the side, or you can put it on top of your bed of rice. I prefer just to put it on my rice because I'm going to eat it together anyway. So there you go. Get you some stewed tomatoes with eggplant on rice. That's pretty good. And I do add a tablespoon of sugar to mine. That's just to take the acidness out of the tomatoes a little bit, because they are fresh tomatoes. The ones you get in the can usually have a little sugar added to them already. Now, if you're diabetic, you may not want to add the sugar, and you may not serve them on rice. That's up to you. But it's an awfully good dish, I tell you. If you've never tried eggplant cooked with stewed, the tomatoes, just stew them together, put your seasonings in there, serve them on rice. It's really good, y'all. That is good. And some of my tomatoes are still left pretty big. But that's okay. They're cooked. But there you go. There is my stewed tomatoes with eggplant served on a bed of rice and roasted okra. Don't that look good, y'all? I'm going to sit down here and enjoy. This is my first meal for today. I did eat a little bowl of oatmeal early this morning, but that wasn't much. But this is going to be my actually first meal for today. This is my dinner because it's after 5. Try it. I think you'll love it, and we'll talk to you later.